Hi guys, it's book club time. So I occasionally read one or two books where I'm like, oh god, that's really changed my life, and it will do for like, you know, a month or so. But there are sometimes books that I find that really helps change my perspective or something. It helps me get organised. There's a whole bunch of business books that have like revolutionised my business personally. But I recently finished reading The Year of Less, and the full title is The Year of Less: How I Stopped Shopping, Gave Away My Belongings, and Discovered Life is Worth More Than Anything You Can Buy in a Store. Which is a very long title. It's written by Cait Flanders, and this book I really enjoyed and really found that this is going to help me get organised for downsizing, embracing a much more minimalistic lifestyle, because as some of you know from my last vlog, I'm looking into maybe kind of downsizing, maybe possibly moving into a van or a tiny home situation. I'm moving house at the moment anyway, and I'm kind of going, well, where shall I live? Because I don't have anywhere specifically that I want to go just yet, and as you know, I travel all the time, so it doesn't make much sense for me to get a whole another massive house or anything, because I'm hardly ever here, I'm always elsewhere. So yeah, I've kind of been looking at all these different ways of getting myself organised and like packing stuff and downsizing basically, because as I'm putting stuff in boxes, I realise, oh my god, I have so much stuff, like everywhere. just things like, you know, packs of soap. Why do I have 9 packs of soap? And like jewellery coming out the wazoo, CDs that I haven't listened to in years, DVDs that I know that I won't watch again. I just have so much stuff. I have enough books to build my own library, with a wonderful section on art and travel. But yeah, basically I have a lot of crap. Found this one by Cait Flanders, The Year of Less, and I had a look at the synopsis and I was like, oh, that sounds like it would help me get organised. It's basically the very true story of the girl Cait, who she's coming out of ridiculous amounts of debt that she got in through credit card consumerism craziness, basically buying stuff that she couldn't actually afford and just paid for it on credit card, and she had crazy amounts of debt. She was like low-key addicted to alcohol and just constantly putting so much crap into her life, and it was just becoming unbearable, too much, whatever. And she decided to do an experiment where she wouldn't shop for an entire year, and it's her story of how she actually did that, how she downsized, like she got rid of so many of her possessions as well. And that sounds really dramatic, but in honest to God, I've really been thinking about like trying to cut down on the amount of crap. One of the main things that she highlights in her book is how she fell for every single marketing trick. Like anytime there was like, oh, there's something shiny and new, she immediately wanted it. And I know from personal experience that I fall in love with things and I can imagine it in my life, and because I own a little business as well, I understand how marketing works, and so I can kind of pick up on myself actually going, you know, imagining myself how I'd use it in my life. But then often when I actually get that item, spend all that money, I'll very rarely use, and I'd really like to just get organised, have more space, have more money. It's a lot easier, your life is a lot easier when you have less stuff. You spend less time in the morning getting ready because you have less clothes, and it's not wasteful. And I think that's one of the main things that I'm really wanting to tackle for 2018, is I want to cut down on my amount of waste that I produce. I'm not talking about poo. Just like the amount of energy that I waste, the amount of time that I waste, the amount of money that I waste, because like the whole point of this channel is like budget travel, and one of my main priorities has always been travel. But then I do find that I'm like spending money on like little trinkets and things that they don't add anything to my life. It's just in that particular moment I'm like, ooh, I want it, I like it, and so I buy it, and then I'm like, damn, like that's something else that's just going to sit on the shelf doing nothing. That money is gone. I can't use that on anything else like travel or anything. So I found this book really helpful in kind of catching myself before I fall for like a marketing thing and do like mindless shopping. One of the cool things that she says about is she mentions how she'd buy things for future Cait and her ideal version of herself. So she had books in her apartment that she thought smart Cait would read, knowing full well she wouldn't read those books, but when people came round, it looked good on her shelf to be like, look, I read this, and even though she hasn't. And I'm totally guilty of that. Like in high school, I read a whole bunch of different books that I'd class as smart Helen books. I'm not gonna read them again. Paradise Lost, oh my god, it's a good book, sure, thanks Milton, you're great, but it's so long, it's so hard to read. I'm never going to read it again. I'm not going to read it out of pleasure. It's still sat on my shelf. I've been out of high school for like, I don't know, like 8 years or something like that. Oh my god, I'm old. It's been still sat on my shelf and I'm never going to read it again. And it's purely out of this egotistical sort of, you know, one day someone might see it and go, oh, you've read Paradise Lost. Oh, you must be really intelligent. And like, I'm being very vulnerable here, so, you know, be nice to me guys. But I think we all have something like that, like some stuff that we've held on to for the ideal version of ourselves. I'm sure a lot of you might have some exercise equipment that you bought with the best intentions and you know you're never going to use it. You might actually be exercising now, but you might just be like walking or running. You don't need all the gumph that comes with it. You don't need all weights and stuff. And so there's like a whole bunch of things that you can immediately cut down on because you know that you're not actually going to use them. Don't buy things for the ideal version of yourself because that person might never actually become you. Basically, this book really helped me cut down on a load of crap and I'm still in the process of it, but as soon as I finished reading it, I ran to my bookshelf because my guilty pleasure is definitely books. I have so many, it's ridiculous. And I just grabbed like this huge stack. I went through them all and I grabbed this huge stack that I know I'm going to give away to a charity shop. And then I'm in the process of doing it to my wardrobe as well. There's a load of stuff that I'm going to put on eBay, and then there's a load of stuff that I'm going to give away to a charity shop. And basically I'm doing that. I'm going through in sections, getting organized. I'm going to give away a load of things. I'm going to try and sell a load of things so that I can see if I can fuel another trip just with like eBay crap sold. I think that'll be like a future video. I'd like to be a bit calmer in my living space, have things a little bit more organized, and yeah, definitely I'd like to stop needlessly buying things that I don't actually need and really appreciate the stuff that I do have. After I read this book, which I really recommend, it's a very engaging story and also it does make you think about your own life and everything and your own load of rubbish that you have. So yeah, I really recommend you guys read it if you are interested in that sort of thing and just sort of cutting down on certain aspects of your life. After I read it, I immediately did a bit more search into the minimalist lifestyle, and I found the Minimalists podcast, which I am again really enjoying right now. It's just these two guys who did exactly the same as her. They cut out a load of stuff, they downsized, they put like a lock on what they can and can't buy, and now they just appreciate their time more, they appreciate their money more, they appreciate the stuff that they actually have and use, and they just talk about it. They talk about a particular subject. You can call in with a question or some tips and they'll talk about that, and free on YouTube. And at the moment it's really helping me downsize, which is, you know, the goal for me right now because I can't fit all this in another house. So yes, this is just going to be a very quick video. I know some of mine have been incredibly long lately because I get carried away and I talk too much. Sorry! Because I wanted to tell you guys this is something I'm going to be doing on the regular, and I'm going to tell you guys about it. If you're not interested in this kind of stuff, that's fine, you can just skip over these episodes, but it will be intertwined with like my travel stuff at the same time. I think these things will go hand in hand because, like I say, I'm all about budget travel and a budget lifestyle, not just when I travel. When I'm actually home, I try and keep things as cheap as possible, and I think this way, this one is worth exploring to see how much money I can save, and then I can use that for more travel. And if it helps me kind of become a more calm, centered, organized person in the process, then that's just a big bonus for me. So yes, I'm telling you guys about it because I want you to keep me accountable. Don't let me shop. I'm not that bad, honestly. I don't like blow money on clothes or anything. I do find that I'm like picking up little bits and pieces like knickknacks and things that just sit on a shelf. They don't do anything and they're not adding anything to my life. It's literally just in that moment I'm like, ooh, pretty. And so I've made myself a little system and I'm offering it to anybody who might be interested in joining me in this little experiment. So I've made us some free printables, which if you go on my blog, they will be up there for you guys to download completely for free, and you just print them off. And I've put these cute little illustrations. What both the book and the Minimalist podcast recommend is you take account of the stuff you actually own right now. So that's what these boxes are for, is to write down the stuff that I actually own. And then I've got a little section here that's the stuff that I'm allowed to buy and the stuff that I'm not allowed to buy. And this is just going to help keep me more accountable. It's going to be like a physical reminder of, no, that's not on my approved shopping list, and so I won't like frit away my money on it. If anyone wants to do this as well, I think this would be a nice little way of kind of taking stock of what we already have, kind of appreciating the stuff we already have. Yeah, maybe it'll help you guys get organized as well if you feel like joining me in this. So I've broken it down into different sections. I've got my clothes, my toiletries, my books, which is gonna be a huge one. I'm gonna need to print off an extra one to fill my books in. My electronics, CDs and DVDs. My miscellaneous, which is stuff like my travel bags and gear, houseplants, knickknacks, photo frames, craft supplies, all of that kind of stuff that doesn't necessarily fit into one of the other categories. And I've actually also done food, drink and snacks as well. Those are for you guys just because I love ya. So if you want to use them, go to my blog. There's a link down in the description below and the URL is on the screen here. And yeah, you can let me know if you're going to be undertaking this challenge with me. I'd be very interested in hearing any tips that you have for like downsizing, getting organized, cutting stuff out, keeping a lid on your spendings, anything at all that you think, hey, Helen might like to hear about that. I very much would, so please. So that is what I'm doing at the moment. I'm going to try out very carefully, I'm going to dip my toe into the minimalist lifestyle and see how that affects my budget travel. And yeah, I'm going to keep you posted on it. As some of you know as well, just a quick one, YouTube has changed their policies for the partner program, and anybody who has less than 1,000 subscribers is basically getting kicked out of the way to make money from their YouTube videos, which kind of sucks because I do fall into that category. I've never done it for the money. I purely do it because I love doing this and I love sharing any budget travel tips that I have with you guys, and like this little community that we've built up. I've done it purely just from making videos for like oh god, almost 3 years. So it's not about the money for me, but obviously that really helps. So when I say thank you for subscribing and please do subscribe, please know that it's not just because it makes me feel fantastic that you guys actually value what I'm making here. It also actually helps me get a little bit closer to making some money again. So yeah, if you think anybody might be interested in this channel and what I'm trying to do, invite them to have a look and see if they might like to subscribe, because yeah, it's gonna help. And I just want to build this community even more because yeah, it's so nice like talking to you guys. It actually makes me feel really, really good. So I hope this is a much shorter video. I am trying, guys, to stop talking so much. Anyways, thank you so much for liking, commenting and subscribing as always, and I will see you in the world. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.